Welcome, welcome everyone. Happy and blessed Tuesday evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to log on to my other device as well, just to spot and make sure I stay connected. But my name is Mayra Ferreira. I'm one of your executive sales directors, and I'm getting to connect with you by way of this core rank training session, which we do Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the whole purpose that in addition to the other business specific training sessions available through our business office or available online and through those recurring online meetings that we have, that you're also able to have something that complements your mindset, something that complements this profession, your journey on this career, and also just thinking of ways that we can still continue to encourage your growth and give you food for thought, right? So we're looking to just pour into you. I consider it an honor, a complete privilege to be here with each one of you. And I thank you for taking the time to fit not only this, but myself into your busy days. I hope you're ready for some note taking. This is actually going to be more of a conversational core rank training, and it will be made available to each of you after this live session as well. So if you have any burning questions, if you have something that's just been weighing heavy or something that you're wanting to hear a little bit more about, maybe a scenario that's been a huge challenge for you, be ready for that as of now. So again, as I go over some of the key points I'm going to be training you on today, you'll also be able to ask me about that before we finish up wrapping things for this core rank training session. So again, I'm super duper excited. Now, just as a formality, so you're also getting used to what it is, doing a quick intro, or if any of you ever need my support for a three-way call, I don't want to be a total stranger. If this is the first time you're connecting, or if the first time you're hearing me share my story, I want to just be a little more known besides my name. But huge congratulations and welcome. If you are a brand new agent and this is your first core rank training session, again, huge congratulations. I'm going to clap for you. Go ahead and light it up in the chat for anyone attending, because we understand that it takes that step of courage and that initial decision to become a part of something new. See, there's no growth in our comfort zone. And there's something I actually saw one of our leaders share as well that it really struck me extremely deep. And I wanted to come in, and anytime I could get to share this with someone, is to have them think of things this way and what your comfort zone means, right? Your comfort zone means, and what you're able to grow to, what income you're allowed to create, your salary, your hourly pay, whatever the case is in your comfort zone, that's simply the dollar amount that somebody else gave you. So I don't know about where you all stand with that, but that doesn't kind of necessarily fit right with me. I feel that we are all owners of ourselves. We have unique and beautiful skills. We have talents that we only possess, and we also have dreams that are ours alone. So when it comes to this opportunity and business, here is where you can flourish in that. Take ownership of what your time is worth. Dare yourself to step out of your comfort zone. Give yourself the chance to grow. And remember as well, whatever God planted in you, whatever seed of dreams or vision and just that calling you have are personal to you. Just like your credit score is personal to your social security number, and we call it a digital resume. Again, your dreams, your skills, your talents, all of what you are capable of doing, that particular flavor, that particular vibe you bring to the table, it's unique. The same God that created the sun, the moon, the stars, the highest peaks of the mountain, the depths of the oceans worldwide, the different languages and cultures, nationalities, that same God thought that this world would not be complete without you. So give yourself that recognition. Go ahead and give yourself that value. I love to be able to see and witness all growth, and huge congratulations too. Tanya was able to share with us. If you didn't hear, she hit field trainer yesterday. So awesome job. If you don't know what a field trainer is, that's the foundation of our company. It is very achievable. And our mission is to get anyone and everyone as quick as possible to field trainer, but also being able to duplicate that. So a little bit about myself. I learned about this opportunity when I really needed it. By background, I'm a New York native, just got back from an amazing experience out in New York. So that I'll always be home. You could take the girl out of New York, we could never take New York out of the girl. And I've been in Tampa since 2004, which is where I'm transmitting to you live from today at this moment. And I was, by background, a mom at 15. We're not born with a manual. So I trust and believe each one of us make the absolute best decision that we can with all that we know. at that moment in time, right? Nobody says, today I'm going to make the worst decision of my life, right? I think, can we all agree with that? Can we put that just to make sure y'all are, because I see Tanya on the screen, a few cameras on, cool, but just making sure I'm talking to somebody. Great. And that being said, I just ended up having to step into the role of being a provider, being a parent, and doing the best that I could. So did the whole multiple jobs thing, up to 4 at one point, living in the rat race, trying to make ends meet. And also have been in college in different instances, 2 of which in New York. I moved to Tampa, Florida in 2004, and I began as an entry-level medical assistant in pediatric neurology. And what I'm so grateful about my journey in that sense is that I found a great connection to the reward for me and my personal attachment, my personal association with feeling that I've been called to help serve others. And it helps me create the concept and fully understand how powerful vision is. So vision is also, if in my opinion, walking by faith, walking forward, because you know that what you see right then and there is not necessarily going to determine your end point in life, and what you are dealing with, your existing circumstances are not who you are. They are not who you are. They say you're born to look like your parents, but if you end up dying like your parents financially, that was your choice, right? So again, here we are, united by this opportunity. I found it when I needed it. As far as a client is concerned, I'd gone all the way to the point of being an adult parent, divorced of 4 children. Again, having had even my existing position, 15 years already working full-time, paycheck to paycheck, 40 to 60 hours a week. I'm not sure if any of you can relate. I was, I felt guilty for being that absentee mom and absentee dad. That was just my circumstances. And I think we can agree having a reliable car, it's not a luxury. You truly need it, especially with not only getting yourself to and from work, but what about the kids in different schools? At one point, my kids were going to 4 different places. And that being said, I had always purchased my vehicles cash. And in 2017, when the car I owned, or the SUV I owned at the time, broke down, I don't know if you know what BMW stands for, but I'm telling you right now, I found out it stood for break my wallet. I got an estimate on repairs that were way higher than what I wanted to invest in a car that was so old. So I went to a dealership confident that my paycheck and long-standing work history was going to allow me to be able to get approved. I thought really that was the main thing. I didn't know about Credit Karma. I was clueless as to the way that credit and financing of an automobile worked. And I had the embarrassing experience of being denied. They said I couldn't get approved unless I had a co-signer. And again, I was told no for an adult decision and something that I felt I needed and that my kids deserved for me to be able to have access to. Our senior vice president, Mr. Xavier Marrero, reached out to me and had shared this program. I got started. It did everything I was promised it would do in my first 15 days. In my first 45 days, 15 items deleted. And in less than 4 months, I had a 210-point increase. The vehicle I owned at the time broke down a second instance. I was able to get to another dealership. I was dropped off and I drove off the lot that day with 0 money down. So my belief has been through the roof. Thank you so much for the positivity on that. And I really saw that Xavier had a movement going on. I've known him for years prior to this business, but I always knew he was about his business. I knew that he was a go-getter. I knew about his principles, the things he was focused on, what was important to him. And a lot of those things actually were in alignment with the vision I had about giving back to the community somehow, about being a positive influence, about knowing what it was to identify other community leaders and wanting to bridge those connections. So, I get to kind of tease a little bit. He was able to go ahead and close me and get me started as a client, and then also me being started as an agent and partnering with the company. But I was able to close him on a friendship, which I'm so very genuinely grateful for. And that being said, I started to share this information on a less than part-time basis, anywhere from 1 to 4 hours a week. I got good at 2 questions. Do you know anyone with less than perfect credit, or someone that's open to making some extra income? And I began using my social media, Facebook, Instagram, and again, word of mouth. My happy clients were one of the first referral sources for me that made an impact. And I got off to a pretty quick start. And within 6 months, I was able to walk away from my full-time W-2 position. It was one of the scariest things I had ever done. I was emotional. I mean, I work for people who have the same last name as me. And, I genuinely felt, again, all of the emotions you could think of, but I knew I wanted more, and I knew I wanted to step forward into that. So here we are. At that point, I was a sales director. Currently, I'm an executive sales director, and I just want to take this to the top. I've pretty much planted my flag, and having had prior experience in network marketing, I can tell you we are so, so blessed with being able to offer a solution for a problem that people encounter each and every single day. So again, pat yourself on the back, give yourself a huge, huge thumbs up, and take that sense of pride, because everyone born in this country is issued a social security number. And if you become a resident here, you're going to get one too. From the age of 18 years and up, your credit matters. And although most of us don't end up finding out until we're denied something that we need, we will find out. And it actually is tied into some of the biggest decisions you make throughout the course of your lifetime. So again, we're able to offer that solution, educate people in ways that formal education does not. And, you know, every day that somebody turns 18, that's another potential that we can go ahead and bless. So today, as far as the core rank training, I'm going to focus on 3 different topics. One thing is with regards to stories, events, and training. Okay, so here's the powerful thing with regards to stories and why in this particular industry it matters as much as it does. So here's what it is. A lot of times people may hear about what we have going on, but if they don't know you to be an expert in this particular industry, they may doubt. People will project onto you their own self-limiting beliefs. So if you can gather and really hold tight to one particular concept, something to definitely have in mind is that when people decide to not join you and they feel like this is not for them, that has absolutely nothing to do with you. That is not your business. Your business is to be able to explain to people that you are able to bridge them and connect them to this opportunity. There needs to be no attachment emotionally, and definitely no attachment to what your goals are and what you are determined to make happen by way of this opportunity based on one person's decision. Because if you buy their decision, you also need to buy their lifestyle. And many of us may have been introduced to this at a time where perhaps credit and finance or educational literacy with regards to finances is not necessarily our strength. I confess, I remember telling Xavier myself, I've worked in a clinic since 2004. No, but who's going to believe me that I can say anything about their credit or their finance? They don't know me to be an expert in that field. And that's okay, because if that's you too, you don't have to be an expert. This type of industry is one where you can actually leverage the things that are working and the things that are in place. Now, I've always said as well, and I truly believe this, your energy speaks louder than anything you can say. So people will also perceive your doubt or your fear or your limiting beliefs in this. So what you need to be mindful of is to channel that correctly. So here's what it is. There's nothing wrong with being a newbie. There's nothing wrong with being a beginner. There is absolutely nothing wrong with not having all of the answers. In fact, by being transparent about that, make sure you channel your energy in a way that it's genuine excitement instead of nerves. So back to, let's see, my freshman year in college. I don't even think I want to say the year, but it was a few years ago, right? But back to my freshman year in college, I remember one of my entry-level courses was Intro to Psychology. They split us up into different groups. And that professor has I don't even remember her name, but I'll never even forget her face. And I'll never forget this particular point, which I want you all to hold tight to, is that she split us up into different groups. And she gave each one of these groups, we were about 6 to 7 or 8 people or so. She gave each one of those groups an emotion. And what our assignment was within that group was to write down a list of physically what happens to us when we experience those different types of emotions. So just to clarify, let's say she gave one group love. She gave another group anger. She gave another group sadness, or not even sadness. She gave another group excitement, being nervous. She gave another group, fear. And here was the common denominator. Across all of those emotions, physically, we did the same things. Think about it. When you're in love, you might feel butterflies in your stomach. You might actually get sweaty palms. Your heart rate might increase. You might feel a little jittery. You might have these emotions happen, or these physical characteristics happen. That'll be the same if somebody pissed you off, or if someone is, proposing to you, or if someone is, planting a seed of fear, or perhaps hesitation, or if you feel combative if someone's confronting you. So the takeaway from that for all of you in regards to this opportunity in business is learn how to be mindful and conscious of what you decide to feel. See, when I've had a new agent explain to me, Myra, I'm a little bit nervous, but I want to do my part, and I want us all to do our part to, instead of identifying that as being nervous or hesitant or fearful, identify that as being excited, as being, turned on emotionally in a way that prior to this, perhaps you weren't. A lot of people need more excitement in their life. They just might be living that day-to-day monotonous routine and be stuck on cruise control versus being able to dream big. So I want you all to still, connect back to when you had dreams of who you were before growing up in a world that tried to tell you what you are not or what you can't do. And recognizing that your responsibility is not in whether or not people join you. Your responsibility is not in whether or not people believe in this. And your responsibility is not in whether you're going to know every single word about getting every single detail and every single piece of information correct. Our responsibility, our primary duty to this is to spread the word and advertise what we have to offer as quickly as possible to the contacts that we have. Because who you know is not going to be who I know, and who they know is not going to be who such and such person knows, right? And keeping that in mind and in present, be honest about being new. Be honest about not being the expert, because that also allows people the sense of relatability and that comfort in knowing that if they do decide that this is for them and something that they want to do, they don't have to be an expert. Just be so excited. Like, I'm dying to tell you this information, but I don't want to get it wrong. I want to connect with the people that are answering my questions. What are you doing tonight at 8 o'clock? What are you doing tonight at 9 o'clock? A lot of times people aren't doing too much. I mean, it is a Tuesday night, right? We have a powerhouse presentation of the path to financial freedom, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's the plug. Y'all can't act like you didn't know or you don't know at this point. And then again, when it comes to stories, people may know you for the story they have in their head of who you are. They're not going to see you beyond that point unless you help show them something different. But that's when you can borrow these stories of success. Let's say you have a friend or an acquaintance, a neighbor, a childhood friend or a cousin or whatnot, your best friend, someone that you want to go ahead and introduce them to this opportunity. They don't know you to be the credit expert. They don't know you yet to have mastered any of these skills. But that's when you can go ahead and borrow a story, right? You can say things like, oh, you work in healthcare? Oh my goodness. One of my business partners, she spent 15 years working in a clinic. She worked her way up. She started out as a medical assistant and then she got specialized in research. I don't know. She did something technical like that. But when it came to this, her credit needed the help. She was denied an auto loan. She was a divorced mom of 4 at the time. She wasn't looking for another job, but she was able to start sharing this. And because of sharing this, not only did she fix her credit, she was able to have such an increase that she got approved with 0 money down. And ever since then, she decided to share this less than part-time. And after 6 months, she was able to fire her boss. Can you believe that? I would love to get you on a call and connect you with her. So again, with borrowing these success stories, that also, it takes the effort for you to be able to learn about our leaders, learn about these success stories. Pay attention to when people go ahead and share what their experiences have been like. For example, let's say our Vice President, Bruno Floridor, having come to this country with no prior experience in this industry or field, Bruno had a challenge of even speaking good English. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm the type of girl, I love an accent any day. You come talk to me with any kind of accent any day. But at the same time, that's a beautiful example of where there was no prerequisite besides his decision that he came to the States because he was on a mission to succeed. They call this the land of the free and the brave, right? And the land of opportunity. But it's not a free opportunity. You've got to be brave in order to make that happen. He didn't care about his language challenge. He didn't care about the accent. But prior to this, I mean, even reaching the point of a manager at Walmart, if I'm not mistaken, he was able to walk away from his job in 6 months. And today as a vice president, what? I mean, definitely a six-figure income earner, topping the charts week to week. I would love for you to hear the story about Bruno, again, our vice president. And today he's able to create a legacy. So that's just something else to tap into. Again, the stories are something that when it comes to the storytelling, our executive vice president, Mr. David Marquez, and one of our vice presidents, Dr. Arnold Bogarty, did phenomenal at presenting a power presentation workshop session for over the course of a few weeks, where they gave us the basic tips on sharing our story. If you're not part of that group, ask for it, ask for access to that. It is on Facebook, and you can listen to some of the versions where our own teammates were sharing their stories. But practice about getting good with yours too. So when it comes to not yet being, let's say, a vice president, but if you focus on your credit and finance needs, talk about how this program has been able to get you to eliminate debt, or come out with a repayment plan to eliminate your debt faster, or provide you with the ability to increase your credit score. Maybe as a result of this, on the client side, you're able to get approved to move into where you want to live, and those types of things, because that truly is a success story. People don't have to hear an Alfred Nixon, Pinnacle Senior Vice President, within 5 years, having maxed out the comp plan, being able to buy a house for his mom, going from welfare to millionaire story. That's not always what they need to hear. But understanding where the value of having those stories comes into play is significant, because people may also decide they know they want to do this, but they don't feel like it relates to them. They don't feel like they can relate, or that they're in any way connected, or that it's possible for them. People can see this type of opportunity and say, man, I would like to do it, but can I really do it? Do I got what it takes? I'm not like my friend, Haley, who introduced me to this. I'm not like Bianca, we're so different. I'm not like Mayra. I've always heard that, Mayra, I'm not like you. That's fine. I don't know that I want another one of me anyway. But like, really, it's just, we're not expected to be the same person. But if you can identify where I didn't think it was possible for me either, but I still decided to move forward because I knew what I really wanted to make happen. And in having vision and knowing that what you can do today can directly help you create a legacy that will outlive you. They say you die twice. Once physically, second time is the last time someone ever mentions your name. And I don't know about you, but that really resonated with me. And my goal is for us to be able to create however many lives we can live forever, because of our contributions back. So again, tap into stories, become very familiar with them. I find that the sincerity is the most powerful component when it comes to stories. So don't make anything up. Don't lie. You don't have to give anybody more credit than what they've earned or deserve. But in being relatable, in being honest, then people can find that much more of a connection in the storytelling aspect when it comes to this business. They say facts tell, but stories sell. Also, moving along to the next thing I want to highlight is events and trainings. Make note of it if you haven't already, or if you don't already know. Monday through Friday, as I said, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have these core rank training sessions. Monday through Fridays, 8 a.m., with the exception of any holidays, or as it will be announced, we also have our morning grind session. I think it's an amazing way. We've had some of our top leaders just pour into us early in the morning, getting us going, getting us started. And I'll tell you and I'll confess this also, to please keep in mind for yourself that a lot of times we are very used to, and we've gotten very accustomed to, a traditional job, clocking in for, the paycheck, living a W-2 lifestyle. I will never knock a job. I've had up to 4, but there's a difference, right? There is definitely a difference. And when we make the shift of building our own business, sometimes we forget to clock in. So what that means is, I know the Monday 8 a.m. morning grind is amazing because it gets our mindset right. It powers us up for the day. Take advantage of it as much as you can. And even if you're driving to work and you're not necessarily at Freedoms, or if you're not doing this yet full time, allow yourself to receive that as your energy motivation for the day, because you being able to exchange that drive for work to being able to build your own business as you grow is definitely a reward, right? So keep that in mind. Also, we have, again, these at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We have our new agent orientation, again, by way of Zoom through these links as well. And tonight, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., we have a Q&A session that's led by one of our vice presidents, Ms. Lucinda Lopez, and also co-hosted by one of our executive sales directors, Ms. Cherie Torres. So they'll be following this evening. It'll be 8 p.m. And Tuesday through Friday, we have a 9 p.m. Path to Financial Freedom. That is where you take advantage of inviting your guests and even brand new agents or brand new potential agents so that they can learn about this opportunity. And then you for yourself, if you're not yet comfortable with the lingo and language of doing a presentation, repetition is key. It will be like you working out. So think about it. You don't go to the gym once and then just have the six pack you want, right? I know that's not the case, but with regards to this opportunity and learning how to be a good presenter, you want to hear the information. Every one of the trainers provides their own take on it. It's like they have their own, flow with it. So there's always things that you can learn and capture from each one of the presentations. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And, this is, again, just an opportunity for you to be able to receive that information. And like the saying goes, either you need the presentation for a guest you have that you need to introduce to this, or maybe the presentation needs you just to be plugged in so you can show your support. So don't lose out on those opportunities. And on Monday nights, we do have the Path to Financial Freedom at 8 p.m., just a little earlier in order to accommodate for our VP University and Millionaire Mindset training we have every single week. Now, where do we find all of this information? Bands. Yes. Okay. Awesome, Tanya. I still see you on the screen. That's correct. Make sure you're plugged into Band. It's not just another chat group. We don't want to be overwhelming. We don't want to give you more notifications than necessary. But what happened is when it comes to, let's say, Facebook Messenger, for example, there's a maximum number of individuals that can be, or members within the different chats. We don't want anyone missing anything. Some people don't have the apps. Some people have their notifications on silent and etc. What we find with Band is that it becomes something you can search. You can literally look at the calendar for the day. So it helps keep things streamlined. So everyone across the board is being able to always know where to plug in, where the link is, what time it is, and the like, as well as being able to search for files. So if you have not done those things, I strongly encourage you to take advantage of it. It has been by far one of the most intuitive apps as far as messaging are concerned that I've seen so far. And then trainings. Tuesday night, what's Tuesday night, y'all? Who's gonna tell me what goes on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m.? What do we have?
Relentless training.
Hey, absolutely, yes. Thank you, Angel, absolutely. Each and every Tuesday night, unless otherwise stated, we have a 10 p.m. Team Relentless training where you'll be able to learn about the different topics. It does allow our very own leadership team and those who have achieved a great deal of success, including Senior Vice President Xavier, or our Executive Vice President David Marquez, or Regional Vice President Ms. Reza Ortero. We have these each and every week where they can help us continue to grow our skill set by having walked the walk, and they share that with us. So, this is an opportunity I feel that is pretty much us against the world. So this is a zone where we can all tune in and remember why we got started and have those ways to develop those skills and continue to grow. Now, you don't have to be an expert at this to get paid. You don't have to be, a VP in order to get your first client enrollment. In fact, you wouldn't be a VP if you were doing your first client enrollment. And when you think about the levels of success that others have achieved in this particular business, it all comes down to them having gone through more no's than probably the number of people that we have even yet asked to take a look at this information. The fortune is in the follow-up as well. People will not typically say yes and agree and get started at their very first initial presentation of this, but always make sure you're planting those seeds. How are you planting seeds? Not only by posting, you can direct message these individuals, and also always having those conversations. It's very simple to catch up with an old friend or family member or someone you may have not seen in a long time, and just, what we say, form them. Go over, some highlights. Hey, how you been? Awesome. What do you keep busy with? What have you been doing nowadays? Or what are you doing nowadays? How's the family? And what do you do for fun? And, again, it becomes second nature, because a lot of times people are so used to asking, hey, how are you? Hey, so what do you do? And when you get used to doing that, you're able to plant seeds and let people know on how you're able to plant seeds, and you're able to let people know how they can come to you if this is something that they need. It might not be what they need right then and there. But remember, your duty, your responsibility is not whether or not they say yes. Your responsibility and your duty is to whether or not they know they can go to you if they need this help. I know for a fact I have the latest agent that got started with me. She had been seeing this and watching my journey for months and months and months, if not a year or more. And it was a moment for her where she just decided, I am ready. So it doesn't happen for anyone and everyone. You still need to continue sharing this opportunity, but to have someone reach out to you and say, I am ready, there's no more value. There's just no greater reward or value when it comes to somebody that made that conscious decision, because now they know what they're getting into and they've been able to see your journey, and they've hopefully been able to as well see your growth. So those were some of the things I wanted to make sure I highlighted today. We're at 6:36 right now, and I'm looking through comments as well. But thank you all, of course. I really do appreciate it. All the beautiful messages. Thank you so much. Angel, Sandra, I see you. Haley, of course, Dallas, very, very represented. Texas is in the house. Diamante also got in. Rebecca, Cassandra, Amanda, Sharon, Lucretia, and again, Esther, Angel, Rachel, Rebecca, Mayra, mi tocaya, Sharon, Tanya, Chad, I appreciate you, boss. You're amazing as well. Saley, Nakia, Christina. So opening it up for Q&A. Is there anyone that either wants to type a question in the chat? I believe you can go ahead and unmute your lines at this point as well. If there's someone that I can help with Q&A or a question, I'll be more than happy to give you my best answer to that. Do we have any takers? Any takers?
I do. It might be, hi, Mayra, how are you? Thank you so much for your leadership and pouring into us and sharing the word of God, because majority of the time we need that to stay encouraged and keep going. So I definitely appreciate you doing that. I have a very small question, particularly not about the business, just how to deal with certain clients. I did just sign up a new agent yesterday, which if you've seen me on my phone, I'm like texting her, trying to walk her through following the scripts to speak to the potential client. Long story short, what do we do? Let's say we have a potential client that says they are experiencing identity theft issues at the moment. We, of course, want to share the services, but how do we deal with that?
Excellent. Okay, well, great question. And I do appreciate that. Thank you for the feedback, and also congratulations on your enrollment from yesterday. So I see Cassandra, right?
Yes.
Hi, being a
Got my
boss
baby
mom.
Yeah.
Time. You like it? I love it. Understand, our children are not going to do as we say, they're going to do as we do. So again, huge congratulations to you, boss. Now, when it comes to clients who are actually encountering right now identity theft, I've had that situation happen, and because of the negative aspects with those identity theft accounts, either lines of credit that they were not aware of, increased debt, which they may have not been made known of, and what we offer in this plan, there actually is within Smart Credit, when they set up the credit monitoring aspect, it literally has on the top right a tab that says insurance. When they click on that, not only do they activate their coverage for the loss of identity theft instances and out-of-pocket costs, there's a zero deductible. It goes back, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years. Now, it does not eliminate the fact that this happened, right? Obviously, but what I want our clients to do, and what I have done, I have not suffered from identity theft since I've been in the program. It happened to me before. And at that time, sometimes you're kind of confused with what steps to take next. There actually is a contact phone number in there. Now, understand, our clients, I mean, if you didn't already know this, when I read into this, I was like, wow, this is mind blowing. Not only is the client that enrolled with a protection plan included for coverage of up to $1 million, the household is covered and the deductible is zero. So I can give you an instance where I have definitely advocated for my client to follow through with reaping benefits from the identity theft protection. And it was a young lady who she lost her purse or her wallet, like a small bag, didn't realize it right away. She had to replace her cards and all of those things, but she lost her passport. So, you know, obviously with a passport, man, I mean, it's a couple of $100 just to get it. And, you know, it was an inconvenience and whatnot. So as long as you follow through with the proper steps to file that claim, think about, you know, you have to kind of broaden the understanding of what it covers. But I would immediately say, any client that's getting started new, I'm so sorry that this happened to you, By joining in this program, you can start taking the very first steps, not only to protect from any future losses and instances, to clean up and clear up all of those negative impacts and factors. But if you've had any out-of-pocket expenses related to your identity theft case, let's say you had to replace your driver's license, that costs money. Say you had to replace even your state ID costs money. Let's say you had to replace, membership cards, or again, a passport in that example, birth certificate. I just had to get replacement birth certificates for one of my daughters, and that costs money. So these are the types of out-of-pocket expenses that my understanding is are fully covered, but you don't want to guarantee in advance what it will be, but you can reassure them that they should maximize this program to help benefit them. Dialing that contact, I think it's a 1-877 number if I'm not mistaken, and they can go ahead and see how to file the claim, how to be restored, and they can have peace of mind to know this is not going to happen again. And that hopefully, if they have yet to identify all the ways that this has affected their credit in the credit restoration process, as well as the identity theft monitoring and all of the monitoring tools that come as far as smart credit, where it'll verify, you could set the alerts for your accounts, right? I mean, the deposits you get, withdrawals, payments when they're made, due dates. So they would really be someone that you want to tell them, okay, again, I am sorry that happened to you. Every 2 seconds there's a new victim of identity theft. But I am so glad that I can help you achieve peace of mind, because not only will this not happen again, you are very protected. We have partnered with Allstate for this. It's a household name, and there's a phone number for you to be able to file your claim information. It's with you and your household, and you'd be on your way to recovering from this, and then also knowing you won't have this happen again. So Cassandra, hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you some, insight on that. But thank you for the question.
Thank you so much. I definitely, it definitely helped. You definitely said it to go through smart credit. It was just a couple gems that you, like bullet points that you pretty much dropped. I was able to take notes of that. So I would definitely let my new agent, who's my business partner, know about this information and make sure we get that client on the call ASAP.
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you so
much.
My
pleasure. Of course. Thank you as well. So I'm going into the chats. I appreciate you all. Let's see, Waleska, what can I tell a client who co-signed on a car and she is no longer with a partner, but the car is still in her name and his? The more late payment he makes, the more her score goes down. What can she do? What is your advice? Okay. So I, of course, have heard that this has happened. She should definitely be benefiting. I'm guessing this is a client, and that's why this has come up, Waleska. But we can't offer legal advice. And at the end of the day, unfortunately for her, in order for her to be a co-signer, if she signed anywhere, she will still be held liable for that. Also, unfortunately, until that car is either repossessed and, no longer... until the finance company, the auto finance company, is no longer trying to pursue or seek those payments, those will be negative factors that are still going to appear on her credit report, his or her credit report. What they can ask to do is, I would say, consult with the credit attorneys, because if they were not aware of it, if in one way or another they were kind of, stooped into doing it, again, I don't know, we don't give the legal advice, but they can consult with the credit attorneys to find out about that. They can also actually make a statement on their credit reports. I've heard of that as well, but I would not say that to either be for you to guide them on how to do it, nor would I guide them on how to do it. I would recommend for them to even consult with our credit attorneys to see if there's something, actual client statement that would help benefit them in that sense. But I don't believe it would help to increase the score or help to avoid that from being a negative factor. Anytime those late payments happen, it will still be a negative impact. So the lesson learned and the takeaway on this is how critical of a decision it is for anyone to even consider or think to make about co-signing. A lot of times you'll do things in good faith. You'll have the absolute best intentions at heart, and then life happens. Again, if it's a significant other, maybe they're no longer that significant. But if it's also a relative or even an adult child, and there's a lot of the responsibility that comes into place when in terms of in terms of co-signing for someone, in terms of someone associating your social with their financial obligation. So after the fact, we can work to have it removed. We'll work to have those items deleted. But, as far as what's going to happen every month when that person is late, it will still be a negative factor. So they probably will never co-sign again. But, sadly, that's what the case is. But we can help them with regards to the removal of these late payments moving forward. And then, yes, just like Amanda said, too, you can message the credit attorneys. Yes. So hopefully that helps.
Thank you, Mayra.
My pleasure. You're very, very welcome. And then I see, let's see. So Rebecca, how do we answer questions about how to pay off debt if it doesn't get deleted off of their credit? Good question. Good question. There are, in our credit builder, within the Protection Plan membership website, within Credit Builder, there are actually settlement letters. You can look for the templates in that, and those are ways where you can use those formats to go ahead and ask these accounts whether or not they'll allow you to make a settlement for a lower payment amount. That's one. But also, in the terms of budgeting, in the terms of how to allocate your money, the debt payoff will give you a game plan. But again, when it comes to actually asking them, so hopefully if I'm getting it right, because I'm kind of thinking of two angles. If you have a collection account that's for, let's say, $500, and it has not been removed from your credit profile, and you've sent the dispute letters and it's still there, they're saying it's valid and it's not going anywhere, you can also offer to make a settlement. And again, look under the Credit Builder section of your Protection Plan membership and the dashboard to check on the templates that could be used for that, to see about offering and making that settlement. But be very sure to ask that they give you a confirmation in writing that if you in fact do pay that off, they are as well agreeing to get that removed off of your credit report. Because sadly, many consumers may be forward thinking and want to do the right thing. They might come across the money and they're going to go ahead and use that to pay off balances, yet they're still stuck with that affecting their credit in a negative way. And in particular, seasons throughout the year where it shows very obviously, in my opinion, not obvious prior to when I was in this opportunity, but very obvious since I've been in it. Has anyone ever had a collection account that maybe it goes dormant for a little bit, it's kind of quiet, you're not hearing anything, and then all of a sudden come January, February, March, April, you start getting those collection notices again with settlement offers? Pay attention. What that is these collection agencies purchase that bad debt balance for pennies on the dollar. So if you owed $1,000 to Sprint and you never paid it, now Sprint closed the account, reported those late payments, reported that it was sent to collections, and collection agency ABC bought that debt, and they bought your information, they're going to try pursuing you to get you to agree to pay them, even though they never rendered you a service, product, nor any goods. That's the basis off of how we challenge these factors, and we fight to get them deleted. Because again, they bought the debt for pennies on the dollar. So that's why they may turn around and say, hey, you owed $1,000. However, if you take advantage of this offer, you can pay $450, which is less than 50% of the balance. And we'll consider the payment made in full and update to no longer pursue you or follow you through with collections of this balance, right? Any individual could say, hey, 450 is less than 1,000, right? But at the same time, unless they ask for that security and confirmation in writing that that balancing account will be deleted and removed, now you have this individual who went ahead and paid this collection account. So now it truly is a paid off collection account. So from that day moving forward, it starts to impact their credit, in addition to the way that Sprint reported it as not paid and closed. But then also, it's not automatically removed. Or maybe by way of the process, they end up finding out that it does actually get removed, which if it's not a government funded loan, you have every right to dispute for it until the end, exhausting all possibilities that it could be deleted and removed. Another thing with this program is that unless you do something again, it can never, that same account legally is not able to be reported again. And unfortunately, that does sometimes happen where one collection agency may go ahead and delete the item or remove it, but then they sell that balance of that collection account onward. And then the same original balance that was with Visa or Capital One or, whichever, Sprint or whatever the case was, that original account is now resold from one collection agency to another. But that's also how our clients in this program can reap the benefits of that legal representation. And if they violate your rights in any way in regards to debt collection, our attorneys can actually sue them on your behalf and make sure that that account and that balance goes away. Okay, so hopefully that answers some of that information or gives you some guidance. Now, also, you can message the credit attorneys, right? Thank you, Amanda, for that. And what can my client do with the letters of paperwork, file a fraud claim? What is it? So what can my client do with the letters and the paperwork to file a fraud claim on their credit cards? What can they do with them to file a fraud claim? Well, if they're not sure how to complete them, I believe that client support can actually, not even, in addition to client support who they can ask, they can actually consult with the credit attorneys. So definitely a chat. I see that question for you. So if someone received the paperwork to file a fraud claim on their credit cards, if they have any doubt or hesitation as to what they're filling out, if they're not sure, if they're wanting to make extra sure that they complete it the right way, that's where the help of our attorneys can come in. And then hopefully that helps. Like I said, we have that correspondence that we need to keep very current and present with not only our document specialist team, but also we can communicate that to client support and the credit attorneys. And I think someone else had asked, okay, how do we contact the credit attorneys? You can go online and it's in our UCES Protection Plan membership website. They have a chat box that's available where you can actually drop down the list of options to select the category, and you can put it in the on your profile, like right when you log into the dashboard for the Protection Plan membership, you can actually go in there and type in your question and they'll receive it and they'll reply back. Another thing, I'm not sure if that website, if within our back office, if it actually has our attorney's phone number, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the chat. FES, I'm putting it in the chat so you make a note of it. Attorney phone number, just so you have it, because I'm not sure if I had seen it there or at one point or another I got it. I couldn't tell you where or when, but 877 463 2660. But you know, also just to have a track of when you contact them or when you reach out to them, I would say use the chat feature. They get back pretty quickly. And yes, they also have an attorney that speaks Spanish. So, you know, that has been a question that has come up. I've definitely been asked about if there's somebody that can help in Spanish. Now, there are not that as many of the representatives that speak Spanish, so it might be a little bit more of a delay for them to get back to you, but they will. They can certainly get back to you. And so moving along through the chat, let's see. How do you contact her attorney? Got that in the UCS portal. There's a tab for the credit. Okay, awesome. Oh, Cassandra, I appreciate you helping and support that question too. So I would ask for what signature document for doing a settlement offer. Correct. So Bianca, very, very true. She's just saying she would ask for a wet signature document before doing any sort of settlement offer. And I completely agree, because they're going to tell you whatever sounds right. And it's not going to be in your best interest. It's going to be in their best interest. So I see how Rick is saying, Sprint is harassing me for money that I don't owe them. I closed my account with 0 owed, but they put me in a collection account. Okay, so what I would say though about Sprint, and especially if you don't owe them anything, if you have the documentation proving you had no balance, be sure to read into the fine line on that, because I know with cell phone plans, it's been a long time. I've been with Verizon for, I don't even know how many years I've been with Verizon. And I own my phones. So sometimes if you take out a phone and it's kind of on a lease, or if they forward you the value of the phone and you're paying off slowly, although it's maybe a month-to-month cell phone plan and data plan, there might be a contractual part to it. You might actually have a contract part to that cell phone line because of what you can owe on that device. So, but in that case too, definitely, if you paid off that entire account, then Rick, do not hesitate to report that to the attorneys, because that's a case where if they're creating a false balance that you owe, take advantage of how this opportunity can help you, because that's not fair. Again, it might just be a technicality. Maybe your name is similar to another client of theirs, but if you have the proof and confirmation of not owing them a balance, then you need to make sure that you fight them. So go ahead and contact the attorneys and explain just as is. If you owe them no balance, they had absolutely no right to sell your account information. And if it's in collections, don't only raise Sprint to that too. Be ready with the documentation from the collection agency that has attempted to reach out to you or at you, or reach out against you for a balance that not only do you not owe them, you don't even owe Sprint to begin with. So again, it happens. We realize there are so many errors and mistakes on people's credit reports and profiles. 8 out of 10 individuals have things that should not be there, or that if they're there, they're reporting and affecting that client in a negative way. So exhaust the benefits of this program to help you achieve your win. And that'll be part of you actually creating your own success story as well, right? So on that note, hopefully that helps. We are at 6:56. I'm gonna look in the chat again. I'm not sure if anyone else has maybe one last minute question to get in before we end this.
Last minute question. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Sure.
I know that this training is being recorded. Where will this training be accessible for us to review and go over a lot of the gems that you dropped on us today?
Oh, appreciate it. Absolutely. And I'm glad that you asked. I have Friday's training to go ahead and catch up update. Of course, I was out of town if you did not know. And I will be not only posting them in bands for Relentless, I will put it on the news feed. So you should be able to do a search under # trainings and hashtag like pounds, core rank, recorded trainings, and the like. I'll put them in the message group as well, but I'll put them on our Relentless Facebook page. And actually brings me to bring up another point as well. When it comes to our Facebook Relentless page, we do have some entry questions. So if you were invited by someone, I know they might seem a little annoying or tedious, or if you start halfway and then not finish, we need to have confirmation you're in Relentless. We need to have confirmation of who enrolled you or who invited you, who sponsored you, as well as your agent ID, because it's not open to the public. It's just for our team and our agents. So that's one thing. And then of course there's an approval to accept you. I'll put those in there. And if you're missing a prior one, or if you're curious about a previous one, as long as that leader was able to go ahead and create the recording, it should be on the Facebook Relentless group page. I'll put it in bands in the news feed as well as in the chat that you can search for. But also, you're more than welcome to look up my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, I've lost track of the number of recorded trainings or anything, but anytime I'm either a host or a co-host, if I'm able to go ahead and get the actual audio and recording of the webinar, I will put it up there. So definitely this one will be shared. I will do so shortly after this is over too. And again, I appreciate it. Thank you for that feedback and the question. I'm sure you answered somebody else's question too. And then I see, okay, so Arlie is saying, okay, so if they don't own the debt and have a collection, we won't be able to delete it. I'll touch on it briefly just for the sake of time. The way collection accounts work is that the original account issuer or holder, let's say Visa, they had an account and they entered an agreement with you. Now, when you default on that agreement, they have their steps and procedures in place. And ultimately, if you do not pay them, they can go ahead and report the late payments, the payments that were missed, the whole total balance, they close your account, and then they sell your debt to a collection agency. That is why collection agencies, they're trained to call you and keep you on a recorded line so that within 60 seconds, you verify identifying information. They confirm your name, they confirm that you acknowledge you had that account, and they'll try to get as much of your information in that conversation on a recorded line. So then now they hold you accountable for the account that they have in their possession. But again, have in mind, they never rendered you a product. They never rendered you any services nor any goods. That's how we leverage the Fair Credit Reporting Act. They bought that debt and are now trying to get you to recommit to paying them, even though, who are they? You never signed up with them anyway. But most people don't know this. So those are the types of accounts where we leverage that right for you to get the item deleted. You already had the late payments reported. You already had the fact that the account was closed. Now you no longer have that history standing. You don't have that credit background, right? All of those things have already impacted you in a negative way. It's not fair that then now as well, you have a collection account being reported against you as well, right? So hopefully that makes sense. And those are the things that we fight to get deleted. Now, Uncle Sam is always gonna get their money. I'm telling you right now. So even though I've had late payments deleted from past student loan accounts, it doesn't eliminate the student loan debt, but it'll eliminate any of the discrepancies or negative items that are not fixed or not positive. We also have the student loan professionals that are provided to us. Please make sure you consult with them at one point or another. They will do a customized and individualized assessment to see whatever student loan debt you truly have and what's ever really real or not. You can qualify for student loan forgiveness, debt reduction, the actual balance of your student loans coming down, refinance for better interest rates and fees. So, again, definitely dive into benefiting from that. Now, most of us can qualify for forbearance or deferrals, but if you don't have the right information at the end of that period, you're gonna end up being hit with a huge amount of that debt balance because of interest rates, right? Because Uncle Sam is going to get their money. So again, it doesn't keep you from being able to benefit from having the negative payments or any past history deleted and removed, which will help your credit. But when it comes to being approved and financed for, let's say, a home, student loan debt is not the most significant impact to that, okay? Just so that you know. But for the sake of time, we are looking already at 7:01. Although I love connecting with you all anytime that I possibly can, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, make the recording available to you. Where can we get a hold of the student loan specialist? Good question. So in closing, I definitely wanna give that to you because I brought it up, right? So if I brought it up, I need to share that. I'm gonna look up the website right now. So it is the Student Loan Pro. I looked it up on my mobile phone. Hopefully you all could see this. I don't know if you can. The student loan, it looks horrible. Well, the Student Loan Pro, that's what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the chat. The Student Loan Pro.com. studentloanpro.com. studentloanpro.com. You can go to the website. You can actually request and solicit and schedule your very own consultation. Go do it. If you have any student loan debt, even if you know it's real, even if you're still in the process of furthering your education, do it. Even if you're in forbearance or deferral, they can speak to you about the other things such as student loan forgiveness, balance reduction, interest rates, refinancing, and etc. Right? So take full advantage of it, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, I'll be sure to make this recording available to you all by all the methods I've said, any chat group that I'm in, the Facebook group page, and band as well. But I want to thank each one of you, not only for connecting and being here present, but I want to thank you for allowing myself and all of us as leaders to be a part of that journey for you. To be able to witness and see your growth is one of the biggest gifts. And they say what you do in the life of others, God will do for you and yours. So understand there's someone on the other side of their prayer wishing and hoping and dying for the day that they hear about this opportunity from you. So take care, everyone. Much continued success to each one of you. God bless you all. May God continue to bless your business and all the lives that you touch. So on that note, I will see you all for the 10 p.m.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
as well.
Mayra.
God bless.